Welcome back, guys. So we're back in Blender. We're going to be bringing in the high poly, the keypad. So let's bring that in. Make our way to the high poly folder. Grab that keypad. Import. Now we can hit in. Go to view. Make this something like 6,000. Close this out. Now let's press Shift A to bring in our favorite cube. Hit S to scale 200. Left click. There we go. Now line this up. And this is really simple. It's a really quick one. And this is just one way to go about retopologizing, guys, as I mentioned previously. And I typically use ReTopoFlow, but I understand you guys don't have that, or maybe not everyone. And I don't expect you guys to go out and buy it for this course. So that's why I'm using just this standard way of retopology, because you can use this way in any other 3D application. So yeah, we're almost done, guys. Let's check the bottom lastly. Cool. Now we can just get rid of the back because we don't need this. Hit X, delete faces, and let's toggle off the high poly. And while we have the low poly here, what we can do is go to UV editing with the mouse, scroll out so we can see this. We can hit A, then U, Smart UV project. Okay. And we're done with the low poly. So we can export this out. Go to low poly folder. Ensure you check limit to selection only. And I mention this every time because this is something so small that can ruin a lot for you guys. So let's save this as keypad underscore low. Now we're done with the low poly, we can toggle that off. Now let's hit tab on the high poly to go to edit mode. Go to modifier. Let's drag in that remesh. Go to sharp, change that 4 to a 10. Hit enter. Go back to object mode. Now we can apply this. And once it's applied, we don't need to check it because we already know it's going to work. So we'll just export this out on top of the previous version. So we'll go back to the high poly folder. Save it as keypad underscore high obj. And we're off. I'll catch you guys over in Substance Painter. Alright, we're now inside of Substance Painter. So let's load in our low poly. Okay, let's start baking our maps. See how these turn out. Let's start baking. Alright, now the baking's done. Let's see how these turned out. Alright, this looks really good. Alright guys, so after we're done baking the maps and they came out nice, we can start adding some material. And first thing I'm going to do is grab this plastic PVC material and drag and drop this onto the model. And it gives us this nice reflection, and I just want to capitalize on this color, this material we have here. And I want to grab a maybe a dark green, somewhere like this. And let's adjust the roughness a bit and dial that down. And maybe up the metallicness. That looks good. Looks a little bit too clean, but for now it's good for a base. So let's right click, add a black mask, and let's go to our brushes. Let's just, capitalize on this screen. That looks good. And I'll add some grunginess to it here in a bit, but for now that's fine. And I want to make this screen here, this little, this little square, I want to make this with the black mirror, dirty material. So let's go to Smart Materials, grab that glass film, drop down, go to glass, and let's up the roughness. Somewhere around here. Add a black mask to this layer, so we're only affecting this area. That looks good for that. Now let's add this gold material. And I do want to bring this down to the bottom. Somewhere like that. And let's take away the dust. And I think, I don't know if I'm going to get rid of the stains too. Well, let's see the dust. Yeah. And then we'll close this folder out. But I do want to add another layer underneath. Under here. I'll toggle off this version, so this is the only one that's visible. What I'll do is change the color, the base color from this color orange, and make it a little lighter or darker. I'll make it a little darker. So what I can now do is toggle back on the new one, and I'll add a black mask. I'll go to Smart Mask, and then I'll drag maybe dust surface, drag it on top of this layer, and it really brings out, the ambient occlusion around the numbers, the keypad. And now I want to add some light dust or something around the screens. So what I'll do for that is just add a new layer. I'll grab a material like this plastic mat. Change the color at the bottom to a light gray, or I can do dark gray, doesn't matter. But also I want to change the opacity from 100 to maybe 32. I'm going to go to the brushes. I can use any of these brushes. I guess we could just use the Arctic sponge since we've been using this one, Artistic Heavy Sponge. Change the stroke opacity as well as the flow. Just go around here. Go around here as well. Some nice condensation. It's good. And I think I'm satisfied with this. I'm not going to worry about too much detail on this just yet. And I think we're done. So let's start exporting out these textures. So let's go to File, Export. Go to our low poly. Let's create a new folder. Let's name this keypad underscore text. Select our folder. Let's choose Unreal Engine 4 Packed. Change the texture size to 4K, and I'll export this out. and then I'll drag the low poly into the textures folder. Grab this, then I'll delete the MTL file, and we're done. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.